our stories to lift each other, give hope to push us further, and encourage one another. Behind the scenes,
Claudia Jordan has proven that she's much more than a pretty face. She's also proven she has staying power, working her way through the ranks of Hollywood, starting out as a video model for major artists such as Backstreet Boys, Charlie Wilson, Joe, D'Angelo, Genuine, and a host of others. She found herself in what she calls one of her best jobs as a Barker beauty on the CBS game show, The Price is Right. Later going to another hit game show, Deal or No Deal, where she was for all 4 seasons. She also made an appearance on the 2nd season of Celebrity Apprentice. Her first hosting job was on Fox Sports, where she later hosted the best damn sports show ever. She then moved to radio with Jamie Foxx on Foxhole Radio, where she earned her own show, The Claudia Jordan Show. She also appeared in the 7th season of Housewives of Atlanta, at the same time becoming one of the hosts of The Ricky Smiley Show. She since went to Foxhole, where she hosted her own show, Out Loud with Claudia Jordan, which was so popular that it spun off 2 spin-offs, Cocktails with the Queens and TGIF. Hater or lover, you're always gonna get her truth.
And so I have with me the amazing and beautiful Claudia Jordan. How are you?
I'm good, Derek. How you doing?
Girl, worn out. It's been a day.
Listen, we tried to get it together yesterday. Yesterday was my bad. So you know what? It's all good. We are here today. You look great.
You do too. You do too. So radiant.
Your teeth are so bright. And is my light not that good? I'm like, can I?
Listen,
like,
no, it's this whitening system I use. It helps a whole
amazing. Lot. I thought my teeth are white, but goddamn.
Okay. But I'm shiny though. But anyway, that's all right. Let's get to the point. I want to talk. You have so much going on. I want to talk about it all. So, let's talk about your humble beginnings. I do know you did some pageant work. You were a pageant girl, and I know that you were in track, so you were an athlete. You know, I do my research on everybody.
Okay. Yes.
And you know.
And now let's get to know Miss Rhode Island, an aspiring journalist. She's covered the Million Man March in Washington and recently helped organize anti-violence rally in her own community. Miss Claudia Jordan, Miss Rhode Island.
So, after doing pageants, was the next logical thing Hollywood, or were there other things you wanted to do?
Well, I was a reporter for a newspaper in Rhode Island, the Providence American. It's the only Black-owned and operated newspaper, and I was getting like $6 an hour, but I loved my job. Like, I really felt a lot of fulfillment from that. I always wanted to be in news and journalism and finding the truth, even in college. But before that, I was going to be a biology major, and I was like, I'm going to cure cancer one day. I always had big dreams. I didn't think I'd be in the entertainment business. But then I got a little taste of media. So yeah, I was going to be, working in news and as a reporter. And while I was working at this newspaper, I entered the Miss Rhode Island pageant and I won. And then I went to Miss USA. And that was in 1996. I won the pageant. 97, I went to Miss USA. Made top 10 at the time. Only 2 other girls in the 46-year history of the pageant at the time had ever made the top 10. And I had 1 preliminary. So I was like, oh shit, like this is crazy. It's a big deal. So from then I'm like, you know what? I didn't even finish my reign as Miss Rhode Island. I packed up and went to LA with $500 to my name, a bunch of blazers and cardigans. And, I look like I dressed like a flight attendant. I was so conservative, coming from the pageant world. It was like, you had to be buttoned up in pearl necklaces and, it was very conservative. So I got to LA. I'm like, oh my God, I need some sluttier clothes. So I went to Melrose and bought my little tight dresses and stuff. And I started auditioning for stuff. And here we are 20 some years later. Yeah.
So I always wonder how people figure that out. Cause what is that roadmap? Like, cause you get to LA, I have a cousin that's in LA. She acts. And so I'm always like, when you go there, how do you know where to go to audition? How do you get into that flow?
That's a great question. There was one manager out there. Stevie, he's from my state too, who would send me out on little things. Like I remember I auditioned for Baywatch. So I did have one person that I kind of knew out there. And then I met girls. I just like met girls that were like doing background work in TV shows. And I found out there's a casting place called Central Casting, which is very known in Hollywood. And they cast all the background people. So there's a hotline you can call. So this is a good tip for you people out there getting to LA or New York. They have a 1-800 number you call, and they'll have recordings of what shows, like, okay, LL Cool J's in the house seeking, some featured background workers that look like this, or, submit your picture there. So once you get on set the first time, you make connections. Like we're sitting around all day for like 12, 14 hours, and you just, this other show needs some people that look like you, or there's always a casting director around that has a music video. And that's how it happened with me. And I mean, Omari Hardwick, we were all doing extra work back in the day with on the LL Cool J show.
Oh, wow.
A bunch of us were all kind of like in that mix. You know what I mean? And you just would see the same people. And then we would just kind of like share tips back then. And then music videos. So that kind of, one thing led to the next.
Got you. So Price is Right. Were you, correct me if I'm wrong, were you the first Black model?
The second one. The second one. Kathleen Bradley was first, and that was Miss Parker in the Fridays movies.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how was that experience being on Price is Right?
It was amazing. Honestly, it was my first time getting, being on like national TV every day, 5 days a week. It was the best schedule I've ever had with any job in my life.
And probably one of the easiest, right? You just get to stand around and point to stuff all day.
It was so easy. It was, Barb Barker was old as dirt back then, so they couldn't have long days for him, right? So my hours were 12:45 and done at 3:45. 3 hours a day, only Monday through Thursday. You work 2 weeks on, 10 days off, 3 weeks on, 10 days off. You could go on vacation. It was amazing. And when I tell you, we got to work, an hour was like go over the script. Okay, you're going to be pointing to the car. You can be pointing to the bed. You in drawer 1, drawer 3, you get your little script, your notes. An hour for the to get ready for hair and makeup, and then an hour for the show, and you are done.
Oh.
Best like hours ever. And then let me tell you, Derek, the fan mail from prison, because in prison, they get to watch Price is Right. And that was almost their porn at the time because we got to wear bathing suits. They would write the best, ladies. Prisoners write the best letters. They draw angels. Their penmanship is everything. Their poetry, and they think in terms of 30 and 60 days, like lockup terms. Like, oh, girl, when I get out, we're gonna go to Six Flags for 30 days. I'm like, that's a bit much. But anyways, the fan base in prison. Price is Right is big in prison. I'm telling you, I got a good prison fan base.
So it gave you a better understanding on that show, Love and After Lockup, because they really know how to finesse a lady from there, huh?
They do. And I had this guy that I used to know in Cleveland who was cray. And I guess I never, we didn't keep in touch after I left Cleveland. But anyways, he contacted the show and said he was my husband. And then he took a Greyhound bus from Cleveland to LA. And at the time, our parking spot had our names on it, right? I should be dead like 10 times already by now. He showed up on the week we were off. Remember I said we have 2 weeks off? So he showed up to the studio looking for me, and then was homeless, like didn't have a place to stay, stayed on a bench looking for me, and never found me, thank God. He thought I was a vampire and said that I spoke to him on TV through my eyes, and that I was it was crazy. Like you get crazy people. There's a lot of crazy people in the world, and that's my demo. Crazy people like me.
Listen, but you're changing, you're evolving, and now you're getting all these amazing people into your life.
Well, the crazy ones I still attract them. I don't know why they see me that they're like kindred souls. I'm like, am I crazy? No, I don't think so. Babe, am I crazy? KJ, do you think I'm crazy? Because I attract a lot of. Sorry, my boyfriend's here. Let me bring him on real quick. You're gonna get a 2-for-1. Can you come here? Because you can't hear it now, but can you come here? I was saying how someone like took a Greyhound bus to find me and said I was a vampire, and I'm like, why do I attract crazy? Why do you think I attract crazy? Stop, be on camera.
Because they can relate to you.
What do you mean? Are you crazy?
A little bit. Yeah.
You're a little bit crazy?
Actually, I'm real crazy, but I just hold it back.
Okay, so like crazy, like cut me up one day and like dress in my skin crazy, or come here, bitch. Like which is
A little mixture of both.
a little mixture. Okay.
But if you fuck me off real bad, I might kill everybody in your family and kill you last.
No.
Okay, but thank you. Bye bye. Thank you very much. See.
And that's why y'all are made for each other, right?
So he's
love
former military. So yeah, he says they can relate. I don't know. I think they think I'm gonna be like I'm gonna save them, because I definitely have that. I want to save everybody thing going about. Like I want to save every homeless person I see. I want to save every kitten I see out in the street. So I think I have that thing, and I think they can feel that. You know.
Gotcha. Okay, so then you went on to Let's Make a Deal.
Oh yeah, Deal or No Deal with Howie Mandel.
Yes.
He's awesome. And you know what? There's some famous ladies that were on the show: Meghan Markle, Chrissy Teigen, Claudia Jordan.
Yes. It birthed out some queens out of that show, right?
Absolutely did. All the girls in there had it going on though. They really did. Like they were all married, engaged, business women. They were really like solid. Like we had a fun time with that. And I love Howie Mandel. I hope I work with him again. He was one of the best people to ever work with, honestly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good to hear. I always love to hear good stories of, because people, especially the show he's coming from, which does not have one of the best track records, with treating Black women. So good to hear that he's not one of those people.
Oh no, he remembers America's Got Talent. Yeah. He remembers everything about you, and like if you tell him something, he'll, hey, how's your mom doing? Like he's dope. Like he deserves everything he gets. Honestly, he really does.
That's what's up. So how did you end up getting with Jamie Foxx and working on Foxhole Radio?
So one of the times I was auditioning, I auditioned for a Coors Light commercial, but I also saw Jamie at the comedy club one time. And I remember he walked by and he said something like complimentary. And then I just see him around here and there. Then I auditioned for a Coors Light commercial. I got to work with him, and then we got cool after that. And he started inviting me to like cookouts and stuff. And then I always brought the fine girls with me. I'm that chick that I got the fine friends, and I would bring my homegirls and I would tell my funny stories. And he was like, nigga, that shit is funny. And I'm like, oh my God, Jamie Foxx said I'm funny. So one day he hits me up, and I was always like the homegirl that he would always call when things like, oh, he'd have one of his boys call me like, we're going to Vegas, call Claudia. We having a cookup, call Claudia, tell her to bring her girls. And I felt like I was really part of the family. So one day he's like, hey, I got this radio show. I don't know what it's going to be. Just come through. So I come through, I tell this funny ass story about how my ex tried to get a part as a monkey in Planet of the Apes. And it kind of like, he was dying because he didn't get it. The guy didn't get it. And he was, my man at the time. And how do you console your boyfriend that didn't get a part as an ape in a movie as a black man in America? Like, there's no positive. I'm like, you don't want to get this role.
Right.
Anyways, I ended up getting dragged for it years later. People thought I was trying to say all black people were monkeys. I'm like, no, my ex could not get a part as one.
Right.
And the joke was totally lost in translation. But Jamie thought it was so funny. So after I told that story, he goes, you can never not be here. And that began my radio career with Foxhole. And I just stayed, and I would be like very outspoken. I would go for the jugular. It was a different time back then. You can say a lot of stuff back then you cannot say now. We'd be totally canceled. And, I hate when people go back to a different time and take things out of context from where we were back then. There was a different time. There was a time where, the F word wasn't as offensive to most as it is now. And we know better now. So we do better now. There was a time where you could say midget, and now you can't say that. You say little person, but it wasn't even like you was trying to be evil. It wasn't.
That was the title that you knew them by.
Right. And it wasn't a thing until it became a thing. And I just want people to just take that into consideration when we want to go back and cancel people for everything they said 10, 15, 20 years ago that they've probably grown from, or we've all grown as a people. You know what I mean? Like this, I don't know. I just feel like we just got to give a little bit more grace to people. I just feel like there's listen, when someone's being evil, and then when someone's just talking that shit, and there's a difference.
Yeah. I feel like you do come under scrutiny a lot. Like it feels like, you recently just came out of the whole DMX, you tweeted too early. Does it sometimes make you want to just throw up your hands and say forget it all, or do you just brush it off? You have tough skin now.
No, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit that week. I actually was looking into going to Aruba. I told my boyfriend, I'm like, do we need to stay here? I'm over America. I'm over the sensitive. Because I feel like, why don't y'all still know me by now in my heart? You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not out here crashing people. If I said rest in paradise to him, it's because someone told me. A family member told a friend of mine who told me and did not say, don't say nothing. So I figured if my friend knows, everyone knows. Like, I didn't think that I got it in confidence. You know what I mean? I got other details in confidence, but and then I ended up talking to who I think was a sister who reached out to me. And I told her that there's a leak in your family and they're telling a friend of mine. I didn't snitch and say who's who, but I said my sincerest apologies. But like, people were out here people from the hospital were reaching out and talking. When there's a celebrity, people just, they get the jump, and I meant no harm. I really didn't. And I don't know why it just became like, when I do something, I feel like the punishment is 10 times worse. And I'm like, I'm everyone's homegirl. I thought we good. I thought we have some kind of equity. Like, y'all know me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a liar.
Right.
If I say something, it's because I got it from a good source, or you know what I mean? And I apologize immediately. So why can't I say sorry and it's okay, and continue to drag me for a whole week and wishing death on me? Like, it got out of control. It really did. So when Black Rob died, I didn't say nothing for like 4 days. I was like, I don't say shit. You ain't gonna get me again.
I gotta make sure the funeral, the hearse, and everything is went by before I even open my mouth.
That part. And it's just like, what? I don't know what it is. I don't know how can someone so lovable as me rub you such the wrong way? Like, what have I done to the people?
Right.
But the ones that rock with me, they know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just need more people to come on board and get to know me better, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I get sick of the shit. I do. It hurts.
Yeah, I get it. But I mean, you're still shining and clearly still thriving. So let's jump into Housewives. How did Housewives come about?
So the day I met Carlos King, I had gotten let go from a show, according to him and her.
Oh, it's about to get real.
Oh, it's about to be on. Because we're talking everything dating, mating, and more.
We present the rules and the questions, and our colorful cast of characters weigh in with their opinions.
Myself and Finesse Mitchell were co-hosting this relationship show. It was the first season, and we were going to have a call that day with our producers, right? And they were like, and I thought that show was the beginning of kind of getting me back on the map, because I had gone through some hardships. Like, Deal or No Deal got canceled unexpectedly. I went through some issues with foreclosure, my money. I got robbed, scammed. And I lost a whole bunch of money and $1 million in real estate in 1 month. So I was in a really dark place. So then I got this show and I'm like, oh my God, this is the beginning of the comeback. So that day, the producer said, we're going in a different direction, AKA we're letting you go. And I was like, fuck, like, can I ever get it back going? So I was devastated. I was crying. I was drinking wine. And my friends were like, come on to like West Hollywood and, then let's go to the Abbey. And then one of them said, you should meet Carlos King. Just, you should meet him. I was with Mr. Ray and B. Scott.
Okay.
And both of whom I don't even talk to anymore. It's crazy. But anyways, I'm really sad about the B. Scott thing though. Because I
feel like, now that I think about it, 'cause I did B. Scott's hair. Didn't y'all do something for BET together like years ago?
I think
when I tell you, like, this is maybe 2009-ish, 10-ish, that's long ago.
I think so, because B. Scott said I was one of the first friends he like really made out there, and I really loved B. Scott. But a lot of weird things happened with my friends when I got on Atlanta Housewives, and I think I got blamed for people not being put on or being filmed with. I know Ray was mad about that, and I know B. Scott had flew out on his own time to be with me and shoot, and it didn't make it to the show. And then our friendship kind of fell apart after that, and it just got weird. And I'm like, I loved B. Scott. I really did. And we had a real friendship, I thought. And, it just things, I lost a couple other friends around that time. And I can't tell you why. I don't know. But anyways, long story short, I mentioned them as to give credit, because I never want anyone to think that, they're forgotten about. Even if we don't talk anymore, I can still give credit and tell the story and say their names. So, they both were like, you should meet him. So Carlos King comes into the Ivy. He grabs, to the Abbey, grabs me. He's like, I have been wanting to work with you. I told Kenya. And he was like, I was like, for real? And then we just started talking and we just hit it off. And he said, I'm going to change your life. And within a few weeks, I was in New York being interviewed for Bravo by True TV, True Entertainment. And they were like, okay, we like you. Everyone likes you. But how does it make sense to get on Housewives? I go, I don't know. I don't really have that Atlanta. I don't have a reason to be in Atlanta. I was living in New York. Ricky Smiley came to town and he was having a dinner. This magazine was like honoring him, whatever. And then Charlemagne, who was having a party on a boat. Now, I've always wanted to work with Charlemagne. Like, I think we have very similar sense of humor. I understand him. I understand how he gets, how they go at him a lot too. The only reason I didn't go to Charlemagne's party and I went to Ricky's because I wanted to really go hang with Charlemagne. I was living in New York because it rained. And a black girl ain't going to be on a boat in the rain.
Right.
So I went to Ricky Smiley's event. They sat him next to me and then we started talking. And I told him about how I was being considered for Housewives. And he said, well, if I could ever help you. And then he goes, you know what? You should come and try out for my show. And I think they were in the process of like trying to get rid of Ebony Steele, which I still think that was a mistake. I think she was fantastic for that show. And that was his friend. But that's his business. But so I flew myself out. It was supposed to be 2 days. 2 days led to 3. The third day, he said, here's your they gave me a contract, not him, but the company. And then I called Carlos King. I said, well, I got my reason
to be in Atlanta.
So then I started both shows the next week.
Wow. So how was that experience? Clearly, is it something you regret? Like when you look back, would you do it all over again? How are you feeling about it?
I would do it all over again with the knowledge that I had now. I was very honest, and what you see is what you get. I wasn't trying to manipulate any scenes. I wasn't trying to make things seem better than they really were. Like my furniture was stuck in transit for 2.5 weeks.
Right.
Moving companies are janky as hell. And there's not one good moving company that I can recommend. So while we're filming, I don't have any furniture. So it looks like I'm poor, right? I'm on a nationally syndicated morning show.
Right.
And Atlanta Housewives. So then that becomes a joke, right? Then, listen, I wasn't trying to be in lashes and glam every single day. If we're filming at my house, guess what I'm gonna be in? Some sweats, ponytail, minimal makeup. So like I just was trying to give y'all realness. Like I wasn't doing and if I had a scene with someone and we had to get through an argument, I'm really trying to get through the argument and what makes sense. And I'm not knowing the girl across from me is trying to manipulate and steal the scene. I didn't understand that back then. So now knowing what I know now, I would probably kill it now, even though not to say I didn't kill it then, but I didn't really play the game. I just was like, This is who the fuck I am. You're wrong. You're tripping. Why you bitches still arguing about this?
But Kenya's been on the show forever. She didn't pull you up on game. Like she didn't say, listen, Claudia, this is how it works, blah, blah, blah.
Kenya, I'm going to tell the truth about Kenya, and I need them to really listen to me on this. I know a lot of people don't like Kenya. Kenya is a character on a show. She told me this. Get to know these women on your own. Do not think that my beefs have to be your beefs. And I'll never forget that. Because she could have been, I brought you on, you fight my battles. She was never like that. She was like, have a relationship with Needy. Have a relationship with do your thing. It was them that came from me for filming with her. Because I had no beef with any of those girls. Matter of fact, me and Portia hung out in New York and in Miami a couple times, and I was cool with her and her sister. I congratulated her when she got Dish Nation.
Portia and I have hung out a couple of times before I moved to Atlanta. We first met in Miami. We have some mutual friends. We had a great time. I knew there was some beef with Kenya, but I'm really all about getting to know someone, and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are you?
Can I? Hold on. Yeah. Because I'm going to do my lipstick.
I know.
So, I saw you on Dish Nation last night. Real cute.
Oh, you liked it?
Always. It was extra funny last night, though, so.
Okay. All right. There you go, my dear.
Well, sorry to barge in while you're getting your makeup done. I see you in the hallways, and we finished a little early today, so I want to come say hi.
And they at one point they was talk like, we could bring you in through Portia or Kenya. I said, whatever y'all want. They said, well, if we bring you in through Kenya, they're gonna hate you out the gate. I go, whatever. I can show that she's cool. I'm her real friend. I got her back. And sure enough, they brought me through Kenya, and I instantly had a target on my back. Portia was cool at the station, that she wasn't. Phaedra was being some kind of way to me. Nene was, of course, me and Nene. I done took Nene's place in a job that she needed me to fill in for her years before this, and I never got why when I got there she act like
she didn't know who you were.
First of all, I've said it in a read before online. You can Google how the hell you know me and how I had your back and how I kept your secret for a little while, but I didn't after a while. But like, you know, I thought we was at least court. I got so many pictures I've seen her at events, but once you come from me, I'm going to respond. But I didn't start with anybody. So doing the show, it was just weird because like I'm coming in, I'm thinking I'm just here to have fun, go on some trips, you know what I'm saying? Be on Bravo.
Right.
And actually at the time I was only a friend of the show. I wasn't made a housewife until after the Puerto Rico read. I was a friend, so I was just chilling. It wasn't about me. I wasn't trying to get a peach. I thought it was even an option. I thought they knew that they were who was having a peach that season, and I wasn't one. I was just a friend, and maybe next season. So, you know, when people were like coming for me a little bit, I'm like, I'm just here to be the homie. Like, I'm just here to have fun and give a little comic relief. But then when it was like me and Nene and Puerto Rico, how that all jumped off and it just blew up, then it was a frantic rush to the network call. They were like, you know, we're thinking about giving you a peach. And I'm like, what, really? So we had a rush and we only had like a month left of filming. So the reason, and I want people to understand this, people say, you didn't have no storyline. All your shit was about you arguing with this one, that one. I was only on filming the majority of the show as a friend. The last month, the shit happens, they scrambling to put something together. And even Andy has said this. He goes, you didn't really have a fair shot as a housewife because there was never a time to develop a storyline. So they kind of threw a couple things together. You know, they kind of focus on me being biracial, which I never wanted that to be my storyline because I live my life as a Black woman. I'm one of the most pro-Black people you're going to find. I fight for us. I ride for us. My mother's like, goddamn, okay, lady. Like,
I get it.
She's like, you have an Italian mother too? I'm like, yeah, but that's not the point, Mom. We oppressed. So anyways, yeah, and they made about that, and you know, the fight with Nene, of course. And I'm so much more than that. Like, I had so much going on. I'm on a new show, like a radio show, dealing with the stuff at work. There was a lot going on, and I really wish we could have done it over where you could have really seen my life, because I think I would have had a more of a future. You know, and they did ask me to come back.
What would you have rewrote it? How would you have rewrote it? Like, if you could have done your storyline, what would your storyline have been?
My storyline would be, I'm new to the South. I'm trying to navigate in the city where there's 4 straight men to date, and we all trying to get
just what?
There's 4, and only 2 that aren't married. You know, just getting a Northern girl and a Cali girl kind of getting into the mix in Atlanta, building new friendships, you know, kind of clearing up rumors and all the bullshit that's out about me, dating in a city like Atlanta, which is tough. I mean, I was talking to someone at the time that flew in, you know, it was just like, it would have been so much more interesting. I did do some stand-up comedy. I hosted a show. They showed when I bombed at like just going to go scout the location, which I had no material, but they never showed when I freaking killed it at the comedy club where I think was Candy there. Kenya was there, Cynthia was there, Demetria was there, and a bunch of people from my radio station was there, and I killed that shit. And they never showed it. And I'm like, it was unfair to the viewers. It was an unfinished story. And then by the end of the season, like we had made up, me and Portia were cool. Me and Phaedra were in a decent place. You know what I'm saying? Like we weren't all at odds. And it's like, I wish we could have really shown that instead of just being known for the woman that read Nene. And, you know, and some people think I was starting with Portia. No, I was not. But when you go to a show and you're like, we're cool. And then you get there, you're like, wait, we're not cool? What happened? Oh, because you don't like that shot with Kenya? Okay. But it was so long ago. And I feel like every time I talk about Housewives, they'll take this little clip and think that I'm obsessed with them, and I'm not. Right. I have watched 2 episodes since I left. I have no idea what's going on the show, and I get asked about it constantly. When I give my opinion, people get mad. I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. That's why I'm working on my own show here in Atlanta. And me and Carlos King are talking about, we're actually in the works of doing something right now.
Oh, congratulations. I'm excited to see what it's going to be.
Oh, you should be. It's going to be
Do
a
you
good one.
do you talk to any of the young ladies from the show, from Housewives? Are there any
Yeah.
ones that you forge relationships with and y'all still keep in contact?
Me and Cynthia were talking like every day for the longest. I was at her wedding. Me and Demetria were really cool. We were going to try to do a show together ourselves, but then, she got real busy with her acting. Of course, I'm still cool with Kenya. Candy and I, we don't talk on the phone or anything, but we're definitely cool. You know what I mean? Like definitely show support online and vice versa. Who else? That's about it. I don't know. I'm just getting to know Drew. I mean, she wasn't there when I was there, but she did my show, and we found out that her maiden last name was Jordan. So we kind of say we play cousins now. Yeah. So
That's
yeah.
cute. Okay, so let's talk about Fox Soul. And I mean, I probably get in trouble for saying this, but I feel like you're the backbone of that network. I mean, all of the shows that you are a part of is what gets social media traction, YouTube traction. Before it was really known, where people even knew where to find it on TV, people were seeing the clips of your shows. How does that feel? First of all, just tell us how that all came about.
So I went to LA to try out for, almost all my opportunities come from one show ending, and the very I fired and hired on the same day all the time.
Right.
So I can't. I'm in Dallas because I got a morning radio show, but it didn't work out. They were going to sell the station. I had a 1-year contract. So after, they decide if they want to renew it or not. But after the year, I felt like it wasn't going to keep going. So anyways, I booked a flight to LA to try out for this NBC show. My former producer that I love, John Johnson, who gave me my first start as a host on Fox Sports West back in like 2001. I love him. He's solid, salt of the earth, never tried any funny business, legitimately wants what's good for me. He had me come on. I worked on the show. While I was in LA, I get a text from Mike Hill. Now, I'd been seeing Mike Hill post some clips from this thing called Fox Soul. I'm like, what is that? And I said, I remember saying this, and I want people to just take this message from this interview. Speak what you want into the universe or write the shit down. I said, I want to be on a show like Fox Soul. I wish they had something like that in Dallas. It looks fun. While I'm in LA, I get a text from Mike Hill saying, hey, Claudia, I got to leave town. Are you in town? Can you fill in for me for 2 days, maybe 3? I said, hell yeah. So James DeBose hit me up, and I went, and the first day, killed that shit. Second day, killed that shit. The third day, killed it. And I felt good about what I did. I actually felt like, you know what? Maybe there's a future here. Maybe they'll call me back one day. Hopefully. I don't know. I felt like if I was auditioning, it was a good audition, right? So I'm about to, head back to Dallas, say goodbye to everybody. And James DeBose comes up to me and goes, I need to talk to you after this, when you're done. I said, all right, cool. He goes, so I need you back here Monday morning. On Monday, I go, wait, what? I said, like this Monday? He goes, yeah. I go, but I live in Dallas. He goes, make it work. I said, oh, damn. I said, do I get a hotel or a plane fare? He goes, this is a local show. Like, you got to get yourself out here. I go, fuck it. All right. See you Monday. So every week for November, December, January, February, for 4 months, I paid for my flights. I flew back and forth from Dallas to LA, booked hotels, bought my wardrobe, did everything to show that I am down. And I'm down to help this network grow. And they gave me my own show, Out Loud with Claudia Jordan, 4 days a week. Then it became 5 days a week. And it got successful pretty quickly. And the pandemic hit. And we skipped maybe a couple days, and they were like, all right, we're going to do it from Zoom. And, honestly, the pandemic helped Fox Soul grow a lot because people were looking for something to watch. And while we were in the pandemic, I told people, who I can get on the show. I'm like, I'm friends with Vivica and this one, that one. So we got Vivica, and then they booked Lisa Ray and Selena to join her. And the 4 of us were going to just have one episode of Cocktails with Queens. And it was going to be just the theme for the one night because we do different themes. Well, I had gotten through not even half the topics that I had written down that we were going to get through. And immediately after the show, I hit up my producer. I go, I want them back next week. And he's like, okay. So I hit up everybody. I hit up Vivica, and I hope she doesn't get mad for me saying this. And I'm like, hey, girl, like, it was so good. Like, can you come back? And she's like, girl, we got 2 million hits. Like, she's like, I got a podcast and I'm trying to, my own thing. So she's like,
Right.
I'm going to need a check. I said, fair enough. So I went back to production. I was like, hey, can we find some money? Can we like pay them? Can we try this thing out? You know what I mean? And I think we're all on the same page because everybody saw it was magic. So they were like, yeah. So we figured out like, I think it was like a 6-week run. We were going to just try. And we just kept going viral. And that old Lisa Ray, boy, she going to say some shit and she going to ruffle some feathers. And I love it.
But
I love
you mixed with a Lisa Ray because you going to say some stuff and ruffle some feathers as well.
Me and Lisa Ray are always in trouble. But you know what? I will say it doesn't even bother her. Like I wish I could be more like that in a way. It doesn't bother her. I'm on the internet too much, I think. So I see everything. And you know what? It just grew. And then 6 weeks went to 12, went to 24. And here we are a year later. And it really, really grew and became the premier show. And then from that, I said, I was at Cynthia's wedding and I see Al Reynolds, myself, and Gary with the T rode to the wedding together. And we had such a fun ride. I go, this shit needs to be on TV. This is hilarious. Like just this, like, and then when we get to the wedding, I see Funky Dineva. And I go, a light bulb went off. I go, I got to do something with these three. Like, this is it, right? So, and I'm telling you the story because people are trying to say, oh, you took Nene's idea. This was October 10th. Y'all can check the dates when her stuff came out. I don't need to copy anyone. There's no original ideas and talk, honestly. Most things have already been done. Panel shows have been around for 30 years maybe. So anyways, long story short, I reach out to everybody the next day. I go, I didn't tell each other that I wanted the three of them. I just said, would you be open to being on television? And what do y'all think? So I called Fox Soul. I'm like, I want these three on my show on Friday and I want to try it out, but I really want this to be a show. And the first episode was fire, was magic. And then everyone saw what I saw. I got a call from the head of the network hit me and was like, good show. And then it just became a thing. And now that show's pretty much the top show. Like it goes back and forth. Like that's really.
Hazel Lee, she really ain't safe right now because I just don't like her ever since that Iyanla episode where she tried to come on and use Iyanla as PR for those racist statements or those colorist statements that she made about dark-skinned girls. So I'm not going to spare her despite the fact that she had a medical situation. Let me tell you something. Okay. What happened to Hazel E is the direct result of this Instagram thought-like culture. Everybody want to be a bad bitch. Everybody want to be fine and Gucci down. And the reality of the situation is, bitch, you're on 49-cent reduced lunch, okay?
Like whenever I'm on YouTube, the first thing, all I see is this. And I will give you the credit too that now, like if you have a smart TV now, your smart TV sort of shows you where Fox Soul is. And so now I go and I look at it and now I've learned other shows. So I really have to commend you for really bringing light to that network. Not to say that no one else was. I do remember some other earlier clips, but I will say to bring it into a mainstream forum where people are seeing it on a regular now and it's a thing. I give you all the credit and kudos to you. I
Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. I feel like I've grown with the network and I feel like I've helped. My friend today pointed out, he was looking at the numbers and he was like, Fox Soul has like 40 million views. And I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. And he says, and do you know that you're a part of 21 million of those views? And I was like, I am? Just me and my 3 shows. And I'm like, wow, that kind of put things in perspective. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with like kind of being proud of yourself and saying, I helped do that.
No, for sure. You did. And if you don't want to say it about yourself, let me be the one to tell you. You did that. So.
Well, Out Loud is no longer on the Fox Soul. They took it off. So last week was the last week of Out Loud with Claudia Jordan. So I'm just now on Mondays and Fridays. So
is that a good thing? Sort of hurtful thing? What space is that?
Both.
Does it free up time for you to do other things, or what is it?
It does free up time and do other things, but I love being able to do one-on-one interviews as well.
Yeah.
So, but I do have the two most poppin' shows on the network. You know what I mean? Like, there's no denying Cocktails with Queens and TGIF are really, you know, they're really they carry a lot of weight at the network. You know what I mean? And I'm proud that TGIF is my I feel like I'm 50% responsible for Cocktails with Queens as far as pushing for it, because they were like, "Are you sure this is your Monday night? If you bring these other women on, you're sharing this." And I go, you know what? If it makes it a better situation for the network, I'm not an egomaniac where, no, I just need all the shows to be about me. I wanted it. I'm a team player. And I could have easily shut it down, but I was like, nah, man, this is magic. And I think the people want this. And listen, as much as I like me, I don't think y'all don't need to see me every single day, on every single thing. I'm totally fine with sharing. So, I mean, who's to say there won't be a future with me doing another talk show? It's definitely my goal. I want to host late night TV or daytime, or when a spot opens up on The View. I would love to The View.
Yes.
My girls Sunny and Whoopi and Joy Bear, I love them. And Megan, I feel like we can have some conversations. I can help you see the light. I got a picture with your daddy at Barack Obama's the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and you know, I think we could find some common ground, or we can have some epic conversations. I really do think so.
I believe you could. And like I said, you know, I think I told you earlier, she's such a fan of the Housewives, so she would definitely be into it.
She used to follow me, I believe, and so I don't know. Maybe I really did go hard on Trump though, but I was definitely pro McCain.
She was never a Trumper though. She was never a Trumper. She's a staunch Republican conservative, but she's not a Trumper. So So I'm gonna ask you, because this is behind the scenes beauty. It is about beauty to a degree. Mm-hmm. I always ask people, what is beautiful to you? What do you find beauty in?
Honestly, this is gonna sound corny, like a pageant answer, but like when people are kind, you know what I mean? Like when they don't have to be and they just are. When they just like, I just think that's so dope and so beautiful. You know, when I see folks helping people, I have such a soft spot for homeless people. Like my guy is probably so sick of me trying to feed every damn person I see in the street. But I'm just like that. Like I can't help it, you know. Just humanity when we show a little bit of love, like when we're just open. It's so easy to be mean. It's so easy to talk shit. Although it is fun sometimes, and some of these motherfuckers deserve it. But like, you know, like just like I remember one time I was like doing real bad financially, and one of my friends just went and put money in my account, and it wasn't a lot, but that little bit at the time when I was going through it and still trying to pretend I was a celebrity, but my whole shit was falling apart. Like I was like, that's so fucking beautiful that I didn't have to ask you, and you just did it, like you gave. When people like stand up for the truth, I'm so big into the truth. It's like kills me sometimes, like, because I feel like we're in a time where things are so fake and there's so many lies. Like y'all would rather have a beautiful lie, you know, than an ugly truth. I don't want the truth. They don't. That's why, like, I'm like, oh, it just drives me nuts because it's never been easier to manipulate the truth than now with social media and filters and apps and lies. I can say something about you and go have one of my more popular friends retweet it, and because we put that out there first, like it's the truth, and I just destroyed you. And like when I see people standing up for the truth, I think that's beautiful. I really do. And also a very nice natural looking hairline is beautiful to me. Nice teeth and skin, a good attitude, not having too much crazy makeup on, you know what I mean? Like enhance, not create a face.
Right. Okay. I love it. Well, that is all things Claudia, so I love it. Thank you so much, Claudia, for doing this. This has been fun. This has been better than I could have. You are like, okay, because let me say, Wendy was my first interview that I was shocked that she was just so like candid, and you are right there. You right there beside her. Like,
let me ask you, Sarah, did you think I was gonna be a bitch?
No, I never thought that.
Really?
You know,
okay.
Yeah, no.
I gotta get a better face.
You didn't remember, but when I saw you on Derek, oh my gosh, Derek the makeup artist,
Live.
Rutledge, yeah, Rutledge, you were on his live,
Mhm.
and you were just so sweet then. And you was like, what was cute to me was how you got out the bed and you pulled yourself together, you pulled your wrap down, you put your lip gloss on, and I was like, yo, you should do the show. You was like, I'll tell you now, I'll do it. And I was like, wow. And the thing about it is I see you with Al, and I watch you on the show. I'm the person that I sort of pay attention to people, and I can tell your heart. You know what I'm saying? Despite what other people think or whatever, I can tell your heart is in the right place for everything you do. So nah, I didn't think that at all.
What do you think I should do? You seem like you're very knowledgeable and you're in the media. What should I do to make these people like me? Nothing or something? What if I don't? What do I need to do better?
I don't think there's anything. I mean, you know what? Because the negative sort of helps propel you, and it sort of helps to mold you. So it's just that time. But it's still, if you think about it, you're still thriving. So it's not. It's meant to do what it's meant to do. It's meant to push you forward.
Why are they so quick to call me a hoe, though? I've been with the same guy for 2.5 years.
I was going to ask you that. What are some of the most biggest misconceptions people have about you? Which is that
I'm a hoe. I'm too lazy to be a hoe. I keep telling people I barely give it up. My hip be hurting. And when I was younger, I don't have random sex. I'm not a sport fucker. Like I has to mean something with me. So I feel like early on in my life, it was weaponized against me. Like, you put that on the pretty girl or the girl you can't fuck. And it's the one thing that you don't need any proof for people to just run with. And they go, I heard. Yeah. And then when I got on Housewives, Nene, when she started repeating some of that stuff, it just gave an audience to 4 million more people about that. So then it stuck. I had 13-year-old kids in my inbox repeating stuff she was saying. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
And it was hurtful, and I've been open about, like, I've had my experiences with sexual abuse and rape. And that's the one thing it always triggers me when people say that about me, because, like, that's something that people put on someone that was raped or molested. They blame the victim, and then you grow up with all this guilt. So then when people, like, go for that, it's my Achilles heel. It's my Achilles tendon. It really hurts me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, who are all these people that y'all put me with? And it would be nice if some of this came with some actual evidence. You can't just say, well, I heard. Usually we're at a time where everyone's got their phones, we taking pictures. If you see me hanging out with a married guy, most likely someone saw something. Someone took a picture. So there's something. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's just rumors. Y'all said I was with Tom Joyner. I have his wife on my radio show in Dallas, Donna Richardson. She dispels it. She says it never happened. Me and Claudia are friends. There were some issues with him, but it was never with Claudia.
Donna, what do we say to her? Because I'm with you. I've seen Claudia behind the scenes.
Oh, wow.
Her smirk. Her pettiness.
Wow. Yeah. This is what we're doing? See how he's not loyal at all?
Look, I wouldn't even be up in here if it was true.
Okay.
Okay, let's just start there.
Okay,
so the rumor is that I broke up your marriage to Tom Joyner. And people really, I didn't respond to it at the time because I thought, why would people even believe that? I don't even have any shady pictures with him or anything.
Oh, really?
I've only seen him on the cruise.
You have the one picture that they...
There's one picture.
That was just the one picture that they...
Chuck Tease, can you
That's
Dallas is messy.
First of all, on the cruise.
She said no shady pictures.
That's not shady.
Tom's hand is...
I can't help what that man's hand went.
You all are being messy. I know we have Real Housewives of Dallas here, and now y'all trying to bring it up, the radio version up in here.
Look.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is not true.
No blogs ran with that. They said I broke up Michael Jai White's marriage. I have him on my radio show. I had an internet radio show in LA called Reach Around Radio. He comes on. He's like, not that I remember. He's like, she's like my little sis. No, not one piece of coverage off of it. Then they went through this whole stupid list. They had Kevin Hart, Tyrese, Donald Trump, Diddy's son. Because I tweeted fine ass Quincy about his joking around. I go, you got a prom date? It's my joke. It's our joke.
Right.
And it's like when I say something, why don't y'all remember that I'm kind of funny sometimes and I talk
Right.
shit? It's like
Right.
they want me to be a hoe so bad. And it sucks because it puts a lot of pressure in my relationships. The first 6 months of my relationships, I spend defending myself and telling them who I'm not. And it's not right. Like, thank God I found a guy that was not into the entertainment, but he didn't even know who I was when I met him. And he'd be seeing all the shit. He goes, damn, they say a lot of stuff about you. And he goes, but I see like who you are every day.
Aww.
And I think he wishes I was the hoe that they say. Because
he would benefit from it.
He'd be like, can I get some head like they say you out here passing out? And it's like, a lot of people are my homies. And it's like, it's you know, and I know a bitter ex started this shit back in 2010. And it got legs, you know, and it's something that people just won't stop repeating, that I'm this homewrecker. And I ask you to find me one husband that can say I broke up their marriage. I will give you all the money in my account. Okay. If you can find a husband that tells you and has some kind of evidence that
I'm on the case. I'm going to find that man.
Whose mistress was I? Listen, I'm a cute motherfucker and I have good self-esteem. There's no way I'm going to be anyone's second string, anything. Right. How can y'all see the confidence I have in the years I put in the game and think that I would really be okay with being Tom Joyner's side piece or Michael John White's side piece?
Right.
It's infuriating. And I feel like you can't win. I explain it. Oh, you explaining it. You must be lying. If I don't say nothing, the rumors grow. Can y'all please stop speaking of my vagina? Nene was so dead wrong talking about my clit, talking about a clit left my body. I promise you, like I told her at the reunion, it's still here because you're still on it, worrying about it. Okay? So it's still there. It's intact. Right. Homeboy will be touching it later on tonight. It's here. Okay. Please stop talking about my vagina. You can talk about my feet. I gave y'all shit to talk about. Leave my vagina out of it. She's pristine. She's not bothering anybody. And she don't fuck people's husbands. Period.
Okay. Period. I love it. That's
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh, Claudia, you got to come back and do this again.
Anytime. Now that we got our internet situation set up.
Yes. Yes.
And when I come to people. And when I'm in New York, we're gonna have to hang out, me, you, Al, and go have a night in the town. But I have to have energy drink. Red Bull fucking with Al because he don't never sleep.
I don't hang out with Al. I hang out with you, but I don't hang out with Al because Al is like, phew, and I'm like, I'm in the bed on a Friday at 10 o'clock. So that's my life.
You have to trick him when it's time to leave. You got to be like, distract him and then leave because he won't let you like end the night. Like he'll just keep on going. No, let's go to the next party. I'm like, Negro, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm done. Like, stop.
It's a wrap.
So anytime, let me know. I'm down. You have my number, save my number, and we're good.
All right. Thank you so much, Claudia. So much love to you and so much continued success. I'll be praying for your new endeavor and adventure that you're going to be pitching and all that good stuff. Love you so much.
Love you back. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Behind the scenes.